Hey YouTube, this is Uzumaki Hyuga. I have not said that in a long time. What we have right here is a battle between me and Rose, both of Team DS on Cardfight Capital. This is going to be one of a series of videos I'm going to do for the channel, because to be perfectly honest, I haven't known what I was going to do for this channel up until this point. But the main purpose of this is to help those who are in the team and who are part of these battles to better understand how they can improve, how they can grow based on what they're doing. So right now, the purpose of this when we originally did it was to train, help our ability to battle as a team, and to assist in figuring out where the team is, you could say. So getting into this battle, Rose starts off, she's using White Rabbit of Inaba. I should probably also explain, Rose is using a Oracle Think Tank deck. I'm using Gold Paladins. The Gold Paladins that I'm using are what you can access as of the actual real life English game, as far as I know. I think as of this video I have one card you can't get in English format. Actually, no, not this deck. This is a deck that you can get based on the complete English format. And Rose is using Oracle Think Tanks. Her Oracle Think Tanks are utilizing the cross ride of CEO Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun, and we're going to see that a bit later. Oh, and now she's saying that she's proxying Susanoo and Sayurihime, which are the two support cards that CEO Amaterasu gets in this set. They're basically, if you know the Knight of Friendship and the Knight of Loyalty from the, and there's one now. If you know the Knight of Friendship and Knight of Royalty from the Royal Paladin series, how they gain 3,000 power when they're attacking as long as a blaster card is the Vanguard. This is basically the same thing, except they only work for Amaterasu. So imagine that as a 9k unit that would gain 3,000 power if Amaterasu was the Vanguard, and there's a 7k unit that does the exact same thing. So now I ride into Vivian, and Vivian is going to attack, and what I have the ability to do here is what I would call a Vanguard option select, which is after I hit I can choose to either use Vivian's ability to counterblast one, check my top, and get something, or I can use, oh, and there I give power to Vortimer because I got a critical trigger. And after I got the critical trigger, I almost didn't give the power to Vortimer because I forgot that I should, but I just did that afterwards. I use Vivian's counterblast so I can keep the boost. And the card I have under it, that's actually a card you can't use in the American format now that I remember. Advance of the Black Chain, and then its full name starts with a K. I've never really been able to pronounce it. I'll get better at this as I go along. I'm trying as hard not to just have source material in front of me and just do this on the fly. But what it does is, at the counterblast cost of 1, I can retire a unit and superior call something from the top of the deck in rest. It's basically the same as Black Mane Witch, except not quite as random because it's on hit and I have the ability to choose whether or not to do it. Not only that, but it's 1k more for the boost. So now she rides Amaterasu, checks her top, and then calls Circle Magus so that she can continue to see her top. And one thing I was doing here, and it's actually really bad and really stupid, I was telling Rose that you can use the ability of Lulu before using the ability of CEO Amaterasu, which you can't do because it's a very confusing thing about the phases. Basically, when you take Lulu out of the soul and you do her Soul Blast ability, and here I'm checking it to be sure. I was actually looking at it to be sure. As soon as you ride on it with a grade 3, it goes out of the soul. And then you Soul Blast too, and then you draw, and then CEO Amaterasu's ability happens at the start of the main phase, so it can never happen before Lulu's ability. That was my mistake. So now that all that is cleared up, Rose is getting back to her move. What she did was, after she confirmed that the card wasn't something she wanted with CEO's ability, she called Circle Magus and checked her top again to see what the new card was. Circle Magus doesn't let you put it to the bottom if you don't like it, but it's still a good way to... And then I say that Cookie was actually the card I was thinking of, that you could use at the same timing as Lulu. I was being stupid. But yes. I get a heal trigger, give it to my Vanguard, so it means everything else is going to be easier for me to guard, but I choose not to guard. And she double triggers. Now, I was saying before, checking the setup with the top card using Circle Magus and then Amaterasu, using them in combination, it's a good way to have extra power combined with the ability of knowing what you're going to have at the top, at the cost of, if you were using Battle Sister Coco, I believe, then you would have 1k less power. In this particular instance, it's not that much of a problem, but if I had a 11k Vanguard, which is what this deck would try to do because it's Spectral Duke, it would be a big issue. So now, I have Spectral Duke Dragon in hand. I decide not to use it, and I instead use Pelennor. The reason why I use Pelennor is because I can't get 11k anyway, so I'm thinking I might be able to get a utility out of his Counterblast, out of his Limit Break, which I'm going to go for right now. 4 plus 5 is 9, so I can't attack the Vanguard or Cookie. So the closest thing I can get is to take out her Proxy, which would gain 3k when attacking. So it would be attacking for 12k if I didn't do anything. And she guards it because it's important. So now I'm going to use Limit Break. I don't know why I'm thinking about it. There's no reason not to use Limit Break right now. Okay, so I don't do it. I'm really curious to see why I didn't do it. I think it was because I didn't have the ability to regenerate my field afterwards. Oh, no. I was using... That was an option select ability. I decided instead of using the Limit Break to use Advance of the Black Chains ability, so I can call something from the top of my deck, and I just decided that was a better option. If I had done the Limit Break and still wanted to use that ability, I would have had to retire Pelennor, which means I wouldn't attack again. So I actually did an option select at that point, and even I had forgotten that I had done that. So now I attack for 10 because Kaiden, thank you Rose for actually saying the name of that card, because it helps me to know what it is. Advance of the Black Chain Kaiden, that's his full name, but it calls something in rest, which is really important to note because it means I can't use it for extra attacks. So this is only 10k, and Rose doesn't know what this card does, so we have to take a second to say this is what it does, which is good because it gives me a second to say whatever I'm saying about it. She guards 5k, she doesn't need any more damage than 4. Traditionally, you don't want more than 4 damage because it's kind of a safety line. When you hit 4 damage, you're at the point where you can take a hit without worry, and if you're in that position, then it's very good for your hand. So now she attacks with Susanoo, and I have to guard because it gains 3k. Amaterasu's Cross Ride still counts as an Amaterasu card, just like Majesty Lord Blaster still counts as a Blaster card. So I'm guarding 2 to pass because thanks to her 7k boost, this is where that actually comes into play, it being better than Coco in this situation. She has a 13k Vanguard because CEO is in the soul. Because of the 7k boost, that means she's attacking for 20,000 each turn. Because I have a 10k Vanguard, this is extremely disadvantageous to me because I have to overextend my guard just to defend myself. If I had guarded with 1 trigger and a 5k right there, I would have guarded for a 1 to pass, but because I didn't, I guarded for a 2 to pass. So now, I wanted to guard that, but I couldn't because I just didn't have the cards. I didn't have enough hand to actually defend myself. So now I'm very hard pressed to figure out what to do. I'm wondering, should I just ride Duke? Should I wait a turn and ride Duke next turn? Should I try to get something out of Pelinor's ability? Should I call something? Should I use the limit break? There are so many options and so many things I could do right now, and I just don't know. And I finally decide call Duke. He's not going to help me as the Vanguard. If I were to ride Spectra Duke Dragon right now, I wouldn't gain anything from his ability just from the fact that I would need a... She would only need to guard 1 to pass, and even if I did the limit break, there wouldn't be a guarantee I could even hit with it. If I use Pelinor's limit break, I can give 5k to both sides, and she'll have to guard them both. So with Pelinor's ability, I'm putting Dendrance and the Pelinor rear to the bottom, and I can give 5k to my Vanguard and to Duke. So this is 22k. She needs at least 10k to guard it, more to make it 2 to pass or no pass, which is what you safely want to do when the Vanguard is what's attacking, because triggers exist in this game and they ruin everything. So she's guarding 2 to pass. I check a heal trigger, and I could give it all to Vanguard, hope for a second trigger, which is what I do. And the reason I do that is because I checked her hand and she has 7 cards in her hand. And there you go. I would not have hit if I'd given it all to the rear, even if I'd given both triggers to the rear. So I had to take that risk. It paid off, and I got the 5th damage. But because of that, this is going to be for 19, so she only needs 10k to guard. There's no way that she doesn't have that with a 7 card hand. I'm sorry, 5 card hand, because she guarded after I checked. So she draws, and I have a perfect guard. I have a 10k shield. Outside of that, everything else is 5k. Depending on what she does, I could be in serious trouble. I have no strategy for what to do after this turn, and that's how you know that things are going bad. Her strategy is very good for the fact that I have a 10k guard. I have to guard, a 10k Vanguard. I have to guard for 10,000 each turn. So I guard with my perfect for the Vanguard because I would have to give up a tremendous amount of hand to do anything else. I took the first hit because if I had gotten a trigger, it would have decreased my guard for everything else, but I didn't. So now I just have to scramble to try to end this battle, because I really don't have a lot of turns left with the way things are going right now. I attack for 14 first. It's only a 5k to guard, but I want the chance to get that limit break going, and I don't want to give up a intercept. So even though the power isn't as high as it could be, it's for the best in the long run, because I'm thinking if there's any chance for me to guard, I need that intercept. Because I just have this very strong this very strong feeling that I'm not going to win this turn. And right now, I can only guess that Rose is thinking that she isn't going to let anything pass no matter what, because she has the ability to do that. This is what a 13k Vanguard does. I'm attacking for 22,000, and she could still just get a 10k guard and hope I don't get a trigger, and she won't take damage. Because Oracle Think Tank has such good hand size and such good hand control, it makes it extremely difficult to deal with a 13k Vanguard, because they have every ability to generate as much hand as they want. and they have no reason to use it because 13k. You need 18k just to make them guard for 10,000. And that's kind of the problem with cross rides, and why people think they aren't that fair is just because it forces you to make those types of decisions involving deck building. You have to decide what you want to build, and I can't take all the damage. I only have 4 or 5k shields. She decides to drive check just to see what she was going to get, and it's a heal trigger. I had absolutely no chance.